Anything can happen Friday. The art and cultural side of Southeast Asia.
Welcome back to 3 ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing. We are at Anything Can Happen Friday, where we focus on social culture and lifestyle around Southeast Asia. And of course, I've been speaking with Dr. Joseph Gonzales, who is the founder and artistic director of ASWARA Dance Company, and Un Yamada, who is a choreographer, dancer, and director of Co.Un Yamada. One Piece is one of Un's early works, and this time she worked with Malaysian dancers from ASWARA mostly. These dancers grabbed their opportunities to go to Japan to train themselves with the locals in extremely hard and tight 2-week rehearsals in Tokyo. This particular piece, One Piece, is well-known work by her featuring a single-based cast, which has toured internationally and also performed by Japan's women leading in dance. After 10 years, it is revised with new sets with all male dancers of Malaysia to explore new platforms. The other piece, Stravinsky's avant-garde composition in 1913. It is one of the most influential ballet and orchestral works of the 20th century. So the Rite of the Spring is Un's version of the piece performed by 13 Japanese dancers. So there were a few hiccups in terms of communications, understanding the cultures each other. So would you share your experience working with both Malaysians and Japanese dancers so far for this project?
The beginning is very difficult to understand, but it takes time, but they can. But one dancer, so he said, so I'm wondering, I cannot understand now, still now. Yesterday I told. Yes, but it's very nice experience. So you must hold this question. Then so okay. So it takes time to understand the choreographers what think about it, what some think about the work. Then so I'm not explaining all because the choreographer is experience, not not just explain. It's not easy. Yeah, I want to understand, and I want to give some question for the dancers.
Oh, so yes, you want to?
Yes, I don't know. I didn't want to answer.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's more like you want them to think.
Think for 1 or 3 years. Yes. But that is very nice for dancers, and so.
Yeah. I think the process is very important.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it in our college among the lecturers, how dancers interpret this kinds of, it's not just learning movement, but it goes much, much beyond. And sometimes some dancers are quick to understand movement, and some dancers are not so quick to understand movement.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really, the rate of understanding doesn't necessarily last for 5 or 10 years. Again, everybody is different, because somebody who might be slow might be able to understand for a much longer period of time than the other person who is fast, and maybe it goes through 1 year into the body and then out. We don't know. So we always say it's actually going to be time will tell whether these experiences really have left a deep mark and impact. Not just, oh, I went to Tokyo and I had a really good time, it was wonderful, the food was wonderful, the people were wonderful. But how has that impacted their lives as artists? How do they interpret, negotiate, dialogue these questions? And how do they bring this knowledge into their next space, into their next rehearsal? I think that's important. Their next project. Are they going to be more mature? Are they going to be more intelligent with this kind of process?
So from this experience, you want to see them sharing their experience with their colleagues and their institutions.
Yes.
So just before we finish this interview, one last question is, what are the other ways that we can move forward to improve this industry, particularly in Malaysia or in Japan? Is collaboration it could be just an option, but as a nation, the appreciation level
Yes.
towards the dance industry?
I think for Malaysia, if we can convince Japan Foundation to keep giving us this kind of money every year, it'll be very wonderful. And this kind of project, for example, we can take to the other towns. So there are many big cities and small cities in Malaysia that have theatres, and it would be wonderful if you could have a national tour of this kind of work, so that they are exposed. The problem is exposure is so limited, and I think in Malaysia. So I think if we can have more exposure of this kind of level, then people really understand, this is what you mean by a good dancer or a more trained dancer. So right now we don't have enough.
I see. In Japan, having Malaysian dancers over to Japan, it's another exposure for Japanese dancers to understand the cultures.
Yeah.
So of course, it'll be wonderful to see the collaboration again and again in the future. But in your opinion, what would you wish to see more?
Yes, exactly. Because of my Japanese culture is really monorail.
Exactly.
Yeah, the blood is the only Japanese parents and grandfather, grandmother, all the Japanese. Then so we have really not colorful. Yeah. Then so we hungry some different culture.
Elements.
Yes. Then so also we have a not so traditional form, just only ballet and modern. But my starting dance is just local traditional form, but almost the dancers not. And so I'm really like the Malaysian dancers' body. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah, that's wonderful. They have a lot of many kind of elements in the body. That is wonderful. Then so the Japanese audience, also the Japanese people, really fun for.
Yes.
Yeah.
So personally, I would love to see more of this in the future.
Yes.
All the best.
I hope so.
All the best for this event and the future events.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do find us at our social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And don't forget to visit our website, durianasian.com. You are now listening to Durian ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing.